In this video, we'll be looking at including your students. There are numerous ways in which you can get your students to come up and use the eBeam device. They can come up individually, they could come up in multiples, or they could come up in groups while they rotate from station to station. At the board, they could do tasks such as writing, dragging words for labels, moving objects around the screen. There are a few things to remember, however. Not everyone can use the board at the same time. It is up to you how many students come and use the board. It's up to you how often your students come and use the board. Finally, most times not every student will get a chance to participate in the lesson. Let's have a look at that a bit closer. Not everyone can use the board at the same time. When we first get our solution, there's a lot of excitement, and what we tend to see is the students all running up to use it at the same time. This can be a little bit of a hazard, and unfortunately it's not how the system works. Each student will have to take a turn using it. It's up to you how many students come to use the board. So this is dependent on how you structure your lessons. So if you build in a number of activities, that's how many students can come up. Or if you have one activity, that student can do that activity by themselves. However, should there be a lot of activities, you can line the students up on the side and they can come up to the board and they can then go ahead and use it as they please. It's up to you how often your students come and use the board. Now, depending on the specific activities we have, this will depict on how often the students will come up. You might use your activities in the beginning of the lesson as a starter, therefore the students come up and do it, or you would just prefer to do the activities yourself in order to save time, therefore you can go ahead and you can do the activities. Now the activities vary. We have the drag and drop. We also have the opportunity where the students can come up and write. Now depending on their confidence level using the device is how often they will come up and write. If their confidence level is not high, it's sometimes better for the teacher to actually do the writing and the students to come and do a more drag and drop type of activity, which is easier for them to grasp until they build their confidence, and then they can go ahead and they can start to write on the board. Finally, most times not every student will get a chance to participate in the lesson. Depending on the length of our lesson, again how many activities you put in, or what your structure of your lesson is how often a student will come up. This is entirely up to you and how it's structured. Some teachers use it as a reward. I don't suggest that. Use it as a confidence builder. Try and get as many students as you can up. Not every student will go each lesson, but as many as possible will enable them to get confident and for the lesson to flow. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by the Technology Training Academy.